He's got a problem with the mic. So Yazan, just tell us your update then. So what's going on with this Phoenix Rising? Has it made any progress? You know, how is the external environment? How are you overcoming the obstacles that we all know about in your external environment?
Yes. Okay. So actually, I have some good news actually. So for the previous maybe month or 2 months maybe, I was working with Danny, who joined us once before. So
Mhm.
me and her and some of my friends in Gaza, we're working on a new project. Actually, I got this idea, and I'm gonna like improve this idea to make it or to implement it on ground. So the idea will be like a training. So the training will be focused on the youth from Gaza. We will target maybe from 10 to 20 youth people from Gaza. So this training is meant to teach them or to train them about the some of the most important skills, such as soft skills, we can say presentation skills, public speaking, leadership, and to focus on writing and storytelling and journalism, some of the journalism skills. So these skills are connected together to just deliver a message. So for me, I believe that these are the most important skills that anybody needs, especially if he's a youth and from Gaza, because we have to own our own agenda. As the Israelis, they have their own agenda, and they pay for their propaganda, the sources of media. So today we are in 2000. We're gonna enter in 2025, and as you know, like the social media is a great weapon. We can use it. So anybody can from his cell phone can just like make a video or write a text or do anything. So for me, that will be like a project under the Phoenix Rising to teach them or to connect them with volunteers from all around the world. To like for each skill would be a trainer. So for example, leadership skills will be a trainer, and these skills with some Palestinian studies or like some, we can say, basic knowledge, uh, like important knowledge for these students or these targeted group. Uh, some important information to know about the history of Palestine, the history of the conflict between us and the Israelis, and just to connect them with like famous journalists from Gaza. I contacted them already, and I'm doing meetings with them, and to connect with writers from Gaza already, to get some of their experience about how to write about Gaza, how to speak up about Gaza, how to do or maybe to make videos. So as you know, like Rifat Al-Ar'ir, all of us know him. May he rest in peace. So he was like an inspiring person for not only for me, for all, maybe all the world. Now they know his name. Actually, for me, I knew him before that war because he was the professor of my sister and my friends. So everyone liked this person because he's so captivating, and he's creative actually in just writing. He's a writer. He writes poems, and he like he posts a lot. He used to post on his Twitter or X. Um, so he has a great impact on us as Palestinians and on the world, because he already made a difference in this world. So for me, that will be for his soul, and to make him a role model for these trainees who will be with us. So now I'm in the stage of just making a plan for that project, because I already have like maybe we can say the majority of the trainers are ready, and I have my schedule to meet the rest of them. So I guess that will be a great opportunity to to do something for my people and for Gaza. And I guess that's an important topic to do. So now I'm in the stage of searching for any, maybe we can say, organization to support that, or to get like certificates for the trainees. And yeah, that's it. That's what I was working on the past month.
That's great. Yes, and then there are people like Farah who came on this call from Gaza Talents. So that would be someone to liaise with on that project, wouldn't it?
Yes,
'Cause
yeah, I
that's a
already
good
connected
Farah.
with Farah, and she's a great person. Actually, she gave
Mm,
me a lot of advices, and she's inspiring also. So I guess we will have we can say collaborations.
mhm,
Especially she's in Gaza, and she knows like some workspaces that were made during that war. So these new workspaces can we can say can connect the people, the targeting group we will target in this project, and we can like just plan it together.
mhm. Wonderful. Mohammed, let's see if your microphone is working now, Mohammed, because yeah, it's still on mute at the moment. So while Mohammed is sorting out the microphone, so Yazan, what about the additional changes in the world in the recent few weeks? How do they have an impact on what's happening for you?
Yeah, actually, the past week was full of events. Actually, it's we can say important events. To start with Gaza, actually we have like connections between the Israeli side and the Palestinian side. Um, to make a deal for a ceasefire, and actually they are making good progress, and inshallah we can listen like or we can get good news in the next maybe 1 or 2 weeks. So they are just like making agreements about the outlines of this ceasefire agreement. So we can say they're talking about the maybe the hostages, the numbers, the name of these hostages, and also they are talking about um, going out of Gaza, like for the Israeli soldiers. So they are talking about some specific areas, not all of Gaza. They're talking about 60 days at the first stage, 60 days of ceasefire, and after that they will continue their agreement. I don't know, like what details they are talking about, but actually that what the media tells us. So we are all full of hope to just end killing and end that genocide, and most importantly also to open the border between Gaza and Egypt. So the people, it's the only entrance actually for the people in Gaza and out also. So we can say people can get out of Gaza and see their lives, because for example, a lot of my friends, they have already their scholarships out of Gaza, but they cannot go to their universities, for example, in USA or in the United Kingdom or in anywhere in this world. So that will be a great thing if it happened. So we all are praying for that deal to just to make it to success, inshallah.
Hmm. Yeah.
Uh, yeah, the second important thing, and actually is a great thing for us, is the news from Syria. Maybe all of you like heard about Syria, what is going on. So the Assad family, which is the family holding, or you can say the president family, Bashar al-Assad, and before Bashar, it was Hafez, his father. They were in that we can say or enrolling Syria for maybe from 1970s, we can say.
Yeah, about 50 years.
So yeah,
Years.
more than 50 years. So during these 50 years, there were a lot of massacres, killing for the Syrian people, and you know, many Syrians are refugees now in many wars in the many countries in this world, such as Syria, Germany, some of them in Egypt. There are in millions. There are more than a million refugees, and as you know. That dictator, we can say, dictator system of that person or that family, they are using all the country, we can say, country resources and country anything that can get from that country for that family, not for the people of Syria. So they killed people. They stole the goods from that country for that family. So also we can say they arrested hundreds of people under a really bad conditions, and we can say prisons, or one of the baddest, we can say, or worst prisons in this world. Maybe you've heard of Sednaya prison. The
Oh,
prisoners were
yeah.
maybe, they say 5 floors under the ground. A lot of, or we can say the people who came to that prison to get out the arrested people or the prisoners, they couldn't find out how to reach them. They are under the ground. They are there is no entrance. There is no any clue to get to them. So they are living since maybe 2011 in these bad conditions. Hundreds of them have, or we can't say died. They have been killed in these bad conditions. And for me, actually, I already read a novel about a prison called Tadmor prison in Syria. I read that novel before 3 years ago, and the writer said that it's all of these events in that novel was or were real events. So I was like impressed by the events, and it was like stories of people who got out of these prisons of the Assad family. So I read that they were facing killing and worst kinds of punching, and you can say it was awful actually reading about these prisons. So now seeing the people in Syria getting their freedom, and we're wishing to them to build their new country under their we can say under the role of the people of Syria, and we are praying for them to get to a brighter future, inshallah. And we have, of course, we have some drops such as the Israeli occupation. Actually, it can't be an occupation without doing some bad things. So as they are already occupying the Julan Heights, they after this it's a part of Syria, the Julan part of Syria, and it's occupied by the Israeli occupation. So they already entered Syria again from that from Julan, and they occupied another more, or you can say more land from Syria, and they targeted the sources of the army in Syria, so they can uh, they don't want any we can say democrat country near them, or any forces that are against Israel to be near them. So that is the worst part about what happened in Syria and what's happening right now. And we wish like, or we hope Israel don't or doesn't do anything bad in the next time, inshallah.
Mm. Yeah. Okay. All right. Good. Mohammed, you're back. Let's see if your microphone is working now. It would be good to see how things are for you, Mohammed. Can you see if your microphone is working now?
Yes, you can hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you, but we can't see you.
Yeah, actually, turn off the light, the camera because simply I don't have a light right now.
Okay.
So
Okay.
you will not see me actually if I turn on the camera.
Okay. So is everything okay for you, Mohammed?
Yes, Alhamdulillah.
Okay, good. Yeah, good. So what's new since the last time we spoke, Mohammed?
So there's many things happen in not only in Gaza, it's in the Middle East, in Syria. In Gaza, for example, today, this morning, they make a new evacuation orders in the middle of Gaza Strip in Al Maghazi city and Al Msadr city also. So the people, they from the early morning this day starting to evacuate from their homes and from their tents to another safe places. Personally, I know a friend who had this morning to evacuate because these orders. They still destroying everything in Jabalia and in Beit Lahia and Beit Hanun in the north of Gaza Strip. I don't know if this is connected with what's happening in the news that maybe in the end of this year there will be a ceasefire or not. Some people say this they are like trying to destroy how much as they can because very soon this war will end. So they want just to make sure everything will be destroyed. They are like trying to do as much as they can of that damage for the people. I don't know. Um they already cutting Gaza Strip to three pieces, one in Rafah for Philadelphia, and the other one is in the middle of Gaza Strip, Neit Sarim. There is where, by the way, my home is, and the third one in the north of Gaza. It's like around Jabalia and Beit Lahiya, where right now they are destroying everything and killing more people day after day and attacking hospitals like Kamal Adwan. They are sending bombs to Kamal Adwan, to the generators there that the hospital used to, for example, have the oxygen for his for the patients there. Uh, I don't know, like in the news, they are stop or there is this the list of talking about Gaza and what happened in Gaza, especially in the north of Gaza. Um, yes, they are talking about what's happening in Syria, and they're great. I'm very happy for the Syrian people. Um, but I hope this not like make the people forget what's happening right now in Gaza. Um, I'm really just wanna say this note that I'm really scared that this war will maybe end, yes, but it will end by cutting Gaza Strip to many pieces, or end while the Israeli army is still in Gaza Strip, and this is will be a huge problem because if the war stop while they are in Gaza, so I'm not sure that they will leave Gaza in the future, like after 2 months, as they are talking about. Um, while they are in Gaza, they are trying to um, build everything for them to like when I see the pictures, I see like they are trying to build everything as they wanna stay in Gaza for a long years. Uh, I don't know if this what will happen or not, but this is what I'm thinking about right now and what I'm really make me scared. I'm live in middle of Gaza Strip, at Zahra City, where is Neit Sarim. So I don't know they will stay in Neit Sarim or not. So I will have a chance to back to my land. I will not say my home because they already destroyed it. So I'm not sure I will have the chance to back there or not, or what will happen for people like me or like my family. Many questions, many actions happen in the last few days, and I don't know what will happen more in the future.
Mhm. Yeah. Chris, do you have any questions for Mohammed?
Well, just first of all, to just for Yazan, it's interesting that his account of what's happening in Syria more or less aligns with the account that we're hearing in this country, and that it's unresolved at the moment. Difficult to know what the Israelis are trying to do, and everyone's holding their breath that the new regime will be tolerant of all the different factions there are in Syria. It's a very complicated country with different groupings and different belief systems, and difficult to hold them all together. Yes, again, the worst kind of to Muhammad. You're in the worst of all possible worlds, because you don't know what the future holds at all, and it's having and the people who are ordering the world in the Middle East are not the best specimens of humanity. So it's I feel really sorry for you, Mohammed, in the uncertainty. That's the worst state to be in. If you knew what how things were going to be resolved or fall out, then that helps you. But it must be mentally awful to be in that situation. So you have all our sympathy here, and we try to keep on top of events, but it's difficult to read the mind of the players, because we're talking. I mean, Israel has now declared itself as kind of Middle Eastern superpower, and seems to hold all the cards, so it would be all right if it was in Israel has had some kind of moral compass, but with Netanyahu and the Likud party, I don't think they do. So at the moment, it's a dark picture. Hopefully, that the regime in Syria might overcome all the awful things that the Assad regime undertook, because it was a very awful, brutal, and inhumane regime. And he used to work, Assad, as a surgeon in Britain, and had all the attributes of a caring doctor, but that wasn't his true nature. But that's all I have to say at the moment, anyway. Mm-hmm. But well done, Yazan, for stressing the need for good professional communications, because there are certain rules about communicating that have been there since for thousands of years, and they transcend any culture or language. That they're kind of the way the human mind works, and it pays to study them.
Mm. Yes, I mean, Chris, you're a great teacher in rhetoric. You've often kind of spoken about the importance of powerful rhetoric. And what would you say, like for Yazan, who's talking about training people, what would you say are the key principles, that you have to have when you're communicating about difficult subjects, as we're talking about pathos?
I think if you're preparing either a written document or a speech, is to actually summarize the speech or whatever message you want to convey in one sentence, and don't do anything until you've got that sentence right. Because if you don't know what you want to say, then the audience won't know either. So it's vital that often enough they call it an executive summary, but it's just one sentence saying, this is the message I want to give to these people. And then once you've got that, you've more or less written your speech.
Yes, I mean, that goes, it's the same for these conversations that we're having as well. Like when we have these conversations, in my mind, it's about building bridges. Why are we having these conversations? It's to build bridges. And that is the essence of it. But then in addition to that purpose, Chris, you're always talking about ethos, pathos. What's the third one? Ethos, pathos,
Logos.
Okay, can you explain what ethos, pathos, and logos are? Because those are essential criteria for the way we communicate, isn't it?
Well, it was just that this came from the ancient Greeks, that the three attributes you need to be a good speaker or a good writer, in fact, are ethos, pathos, and logos. Ethos is your own personality. It's who you are, and the sort of person you are that allows people to trust you. Pathos is your way of linking emotionally with your audience, and logos, of course, is your argument. And all three have to be present in order to make an impact with the people you're speaking to. Sounds very simple, but you have to work hard on all three aspects.
Yeah, because I always think of ethos as being essential for trust. We will trust somebody if they come across as being very honest, very credible, very transparent. It's obvious that they don't have a hidden agenda, that they, what you see is what you get, basically. And so that's the ethos, the credibility, the trust in the person. But then there has to be that emotion as well. And I know, like Mohammed being in Gaza, obviously there's a lot of emotion, isn't there? That there's a resonance with that. We can empathize with that emotion. And then the argument, the logos, that is the thing to be worked on, isn't it? It's like, well, what is the articulate way of conveying the message that you want? Does that make sense to you, Yasin? Logos, pathos, and ethos, credibility, trust, making sure that people trust you, making sure that they can resonate, they can empathize with you. But the logos, what is the argument? So with Phoenix Rising, it's about raising awareness, but for what? What was the purpose of that raising awareness?
Okay, so thank you, Christopher, for your advice and for your words. Actually, for me, I guess we have to work on all of them, because all of them are important, and we are giving a training. It's a general training for the students. So we are giving them the basic knowledge or the basic skills for all these things, because after this skill, it's an essential training. As I said, after this training, they will open their way individually. So everybody of them, of the trainees, will find his way in this field, like for example, reporting or storytelling or any other thing. For example, storytelling, it's a personal. It should include emotions. So it's a personal experience. Like for example, I lived in the war inside Gaza. So I'm capable of telling the story of the people there. So I can express my feelings. I want to deliver the feelings, because I can say nobody outside Gaza or haven't lived these conditions can feel the same thing. So we are trying our best to make people outside Gaza feel even a little bit of what the people are facing there. So like transferring emotions is so difficult. So it's gonna be a great or a huge mission for us to just teach people how to deliver their emotions to the other world or to the other people outside Gaza. And that is one section. The other section is reporting, because reporting, or we can say it's connected to journalism in some way, because any person who will be put in that situation, he or she should have some skills or some essential knowledge about what to say, or how to deliver that message. For example, reporting about the situation in Gaza. So, for example, for me, when I'm reporting about Gaza, I have to have a good knowledge or understanding about what's happening. So, for example, I will tell you, now we are facing blah blah blah. Now the Israeli is invading Rafah, is invading. So now northern Gaza, they are evacuating new cities inside Gaza. So I have to get more information and more knowledge about this. So all of the skills are important. As you said, like they're so important for any person in general, and for the targeting group, because we are targeting creative individuals. So they will have good English skills, they will have good personal skills. So we can, they already have the skills, so we can improve their skills. And then we can give them a push towards their dreams, or to their they're like fighting in like in speeches and writing, and because as we said, social media is a weapon. So now to teach them how to use social media to express their skills and their emotions, or the reporting for what is happening. Because the most concept, or the most important concept that made me make this, or to start this thing, is that we are now living it. Like we can say 75 years ago, my grandparents, they have evacuated their lands, their homelands. So for example, my grandma, she was 12 years old, so she couldn't tell us, or not tell us, she couldn't write or speak about it in journalism. And because, you know, like 75 years ago, the situation wasn't like this. It was hard to tell the world. It's hard. It's easy for the Israelis to hide the real story. It's easy to fake it. So now we are in 2025. We're gonna start, or we're gonna enter 2025. So it's easy for anybody in this world to just open his camera, open his Instagram account, any social media platform, and talk about it. So it's easy for anybody to tell these stories. So now we are, or we have it on our own to tell the stories, and we are the history writers, because 70 years ago somebody have wrote this history. So now we have to write this history, and you know, we're living in that situation. So we will leave these documents, these videos, these voices for the next generation, or for the upcoming generation, so they can feel and understand what happened in this thing. So I guess I have, not only me, we as youth, we as Palestinians who are facing this thing, we have it as a responsibility to show the world, and to teach, and to document, and to do all these things.
The use of story is a way of getting attention, and it's the inductive method, if you like, because we all live our lives in the particular, and then we go to the general. Academics go from the general to the particular, and it's a mistake that educated people make when they're communicating, that they use they give out a general rule, and they give a particular example, where if you want to get someone's attention, you give them the particular story and then make the general rule from there. And so story is very important, because people can identify with the teller of the story, and you draw them in that way, and then you deliver the message that you've put into one sentence, and then you break down the message into various steps. So you're onto a winner there, Ghassan. And of course, when you look at journalists, they always talk about what's the story. So and the newspapers are full of stories. So it's a very important attribute of human nature that we love stories, because it's about particular people who we can identify with, just as the 1001 Arabian Nights was a compendium of stories, and it's existed for thousands of years.
Yeah, actually, the story is so important, because like it's the way to deliver the emotions, and it's we can say one of the entrance, because people are not the same. For example, my father prefers to read like newspaper, or to watch the TV on news channels. For example, people in my age, they prefer to watch videos, or to watch movies. So there are a bunch of different ways to deliver a message. So for me, I'm trying to just to do not every way, because there are a lot, but to target the most important ways, such as storytelling, because storytelling is not connected to any age, because anybody can read in any age, and it can give us an emotion, or we can say it triggers our emotions. For example, as I said about Syria, what trigger my emotions and make me feel like I want to do something to Syria, because we're connected to Syria. We are, at least, or at the end we can say we are one people, because we live in the Levant, the same Levant, and the same Arab world, and the Middle East. So we speak the same language, and we can say the same religion and same culture. So before Sykes-Picot, we were one country, not only Syria, Lebanon, Jordan, and other parts of the Arab countries. We were all one country, so we are connected. So what made me like want to know more about Syria and what's happening in Syria since 3 years. That was when I read a novel or a story about what is happening in Syria. So that got my attention, or made me focus on one case, or one we can say one problem. It's happening in the Arab world. It's next to me also, because Syria is so close to Palestine, so it's important to know what is happening near us. So it all started from a novel I read. So now I know the stories it has, it have we can say a great impact on people, because people can remember the stories and can tell it to from one person to another.
Mhm.
Is the novel, is it translated into other languages?
I'm not sure, but I can search for translation for that novel. Actually, it expresses the bad conditions of arresting people. It tells the story of a Syrian doctor who was arrested, and he lived in Tadmur prison. It's in Syria, and it represents the dictatorial system of the Al-Assad family since, we can say, more than 50 years. I can search for it. Let me search now.
But it's written in Arabic, is it?
Yeah, it's written in Arabic. It's written by the Jordanian writer. His name is Ayman Le'toum. It's a famous novel, I guess, because
It's Ayman, is it?
Ayman Le'toum. I don't know if you heard of him before.
No, I haven't. I know there's an Ayman, Irish name, Ayman, but I imagine it's an Arabic name.
It is, yeah, as well.
You found it?
I'm still searching.
Are you outdoors, Yazan?
Sorry?
Are you outdoors today?
Yeah, I'm outdoor.
Yeah. Why are you looking for that? So Mohammed, before you came on the call, we were just saying that we will try and do these once a month rather than every week. So the next meeting that we'll have will be like mid-January. Is that okay with you, Mohammed?
Yes, it's totally fine for me.
Yeah, once a month would be more, I think it would be more feasible. So hopefully by mid-January, things will have improved a lot. You know, fingers crossed that things will go in the right direction now, and that the worst is behind us. You know, that you and your family will, you know, be able to, you know, come the turn of the new year. Hopefully 2022 will bring more peace and, you know, more safety and security. Did you find it, Yazan? You could always.
I
I
can't
found
find this thing. It's called يسمعون حسيسها in Arabic.
I found the writer.
You found the writer?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I can't find anything about talking about translating into English, so I have to do like deep research about this.
Mhm.
Uh, he wrote a lot about the prisons, we can say, novels or whatever. So he focused on Syrian case or conflict.
Yeah. And I suppose the important point here is that through that novel, you've gained a lot of important insight into the conditions of Syria, and that kind of makes you feel, more like empathy, I suppose, through the stories that you've read in that novel.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Yeah. So, yeah, the point is that the story is really powerful. The story that you read it 3 years ago, but you still remember it. You still remember it now.
Yes, exactly. It's so powerful.
Mm.
And actually, we have, I don't know if you know that website. It's called the Electronic Intifada.
Yes,
It's
yes.
a famous website. I actually, my friends, they wrote some articles inside this
Mhm.
that website.
Mm.
So I guess that's a powerful website because it's based in USA. So it's an international website, a platform for it allows Palestinians or anybody can or wants to write about Palestine to write stories, and they focused on mentioning names and full names because the victims, they are not numbers. We have to just document every victim and what happened with him or her, and because he's not a number, he's a story. He's a human being. He deserves every single good thing, even if he died and even if he's gone. So it's our responsibility to talk about them. So that website, it like we can say, it allows anyone to write novels or to write you can say short stories, and
Yeah.
stories can be like inspiring for anybody, or it can be powerful as you said.
Mhm. That's right. And as you say, like a story is a tool that that we can use for power. When we write, when we speak in public, the way we use our words, when we create a record of something, that in itself exerts power. And this is the reason why any kind of dominating force, they will try to get rid of the literature, they will try to get rid of like the universities, etc., as what's happened in Gaza, because that's where the cultural power is, right?
Yeah, exactly. And as you said, like we have seen this thing because the novel I read, the writer, he wrote in the beginning of that novel that he's writing what a prisoner already told him, and he told him all the details. So he listened from a person who lived that condition, and actually I was like impressed by the awful details. It was they were awful details. I couldn't believe at first, but actually these days, when the photos and documents and videos they came out from these prisons, and they have freed the prisoners out there in these bad prisons. I heard like from the media, the prisoners themselves, they are talking the same thing that the novel said. So I was like confirmed that it was right. The bad conditions were right. The every single thing that the writer wrote in that novel, it was right. So
Authentic.
I'm still impressed by the awful thing because the details are much worse than I can describe it.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, it was real. Real
Mhm.
people face these things, these kinds of punishment, and we can say beating them and killing them even in front of each other. Um and that was so awful for me to read or to believe that that's real. That's not imagination. It's real actually. It's not science fiction. It's on
Mhm.
ground.
And when you tell those stories internationally, it's very difficult to erase them, because if those stories remain in a particular location, in a particular physical location, like at the universities, it's very easy for for those who find those stories will undermine their power. They can destroy them. But because you're telling the stories internationally, they are dispersed in a way that they have wings of their own. It's very difficult to destroy those stories.
Yes, actually, it can spread internationally. And what I want to mention is that we have like writers from the old age of Palestine, we can say, or all the stories. It's we can say documented in the whole world. Such as I have this novel here. It's writer Ghassan Kanafani. I don't know if you heard of him. He's so famous, and he's Palestinian. And his novels, he wrote them in maybe more than 50 or 60 years. He wrote them about the Palestinian Nakba and what happened. And for example, the novel I have here, it's called عائد إلى حيفا, which means I'm back to Haifa, or Haifa, which is a Palestinian displaced city. So he has a lot of novels translated to more than 20 or 25 languages. So this writer is easier to find novels that's translated to English, because it allows the reader to read about the Palestinian history and stories that already happened in the Nakba before 75 years. And now we have another Nakba. So I guess this time is a great opportunity to make great writers for the future. So now Ghassan Kanafani was killed by the Israelis in Beirut in let me check, and maybe in 1960. So we can say it's been a while. It's been a lot of years. So and all his writings and his novels and anything he made is now it's documented, and it's a heritage for Palestine. Even Ghassan Kanafani or Mahmoud Darwish. You know Mahmoud Darwish, right?
No, we don't.
Okay, Mahmoud Darwish is also famous. They represent Palestine. He's famous in the whole Arab world, and some of the Western world know them. So I recommend you to search about Ghassan Kanafani and Mahmoud Darwish, because Mahmoud Darwish was a poem writer, and he wrote a lot of poems about Palestine, about the Palestinian case. And Ghassan Kanafani, he wrote a lot of novels about what happened in Palestine. So I recommend you to read about these writers. And
yeah, I've got Darwish here as he died in 2008.
Sorry,
and Kanafani died in 1972. But he was born in 1936, so he was only 36 years old.
I cannot hear you.
Oh, sorry, I said I've found Mahmoud Darwish.
Darwish, yes.
He died in 2008.
Yeah, exactly. In 2008, he died.
And Ghassan Kanafani,
yeah,
he died in 1972. He's 36 years old.
72?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sorry. He was killed in 1972 by the Israeli army.
Yeah.
The Mossad. They targeted him in Beirut, and for the same thing, we can connect two different stage of time. We can say that time he lived the Nakba, the Palestinian Nakba, and he started to talk about it and to write about it. And in these in this genocide, the ongoing genocide, we have Dr. Rifat Al-Ar'ir. Of course, you know him because we have social media now, and the power of social media made him more famous around the world. So for the same purpose, Ghassan Kanafani was killed. Rifat Al-Ar'ir was killed for the same purpose or for the same reason. They are targeting the creative people, the people who are trying to show the truth for the world, and for anybody can make an effect. And if that thing can tell us something, it tells us the power of writing, the power of talking it's so powerful that made Israel itself want to target these people, or want to target the writers and the poem writers, or whatever or whoever is trying to talk about it and to show the truth.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Thank you. I'll go looking for those writers.
That will be the reading for the next few weeks. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be
Okay.
interested to hear your your opinion after you read like one of the novels or something, or it would be great to know these writers and to talk about them. So the other word, or anybody who don't know them, he can search about them and read, because as you said, stories are so powerful. They're not the only two Palestinian writers. We have a lot of them, but not all of them are famous, because
Yeah.
there are what do we call it, caricature artist is called Najil Ali. He was killed also by the Israeli Mossad, because he used to write caricatures also, to make a caricature, and they also targeted him in, I guess, in the USA maybe. So art is powerful, and literature is powerful also.
Yeah. Okay, so Mohammed, just to finish off, do you have any final comments? Next time we will meet will be the 15th of January, middle of January.
Yeah, I just finally can suggest, especially Ghassan Kanafani, for you to read some of his books. He's really a genius person. He can explain the Palestinian case very well. Just read one book from his many books, and you will know about his great thing. The Israeli actually like trying to target any, I will not say any person, I will say any mind, any brain who can help the Palestinian people, the Palestinian community, the Palestinian case in general. Anything can help the people, can help our case to be very clear, to make it very spread in the world. It will be simply a target for the Israeli army, like what happened for Ghassan Kanafani, like what happened to Dr. Rifat Al-Ar'ir. All of them will be a target, as they, or their way, if I can say, their way, their writing can make the world really understand what happened in Gaza and in Palestine in general.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's so true. Chris, any final comments before we close?
No, it's good to meet you both, and let's hope we meet again in the new year in better circumstances.
Yeah. Yasin?
Yeah, I appreciate, I really appreciate this meeting, and so impactful, we can say. And inshallah, we will meet next time, and we can discuss new topics, and like know the updates, inshallah.
Yeah, good. So 15th of January, and so hopefully, God willing, inshallah, there will be peace, and we'll have lots of good news to talk about.
Okay, great.
Okay, bye for now, everyone. Bye bye.
Yeah,
Inshallah.
bye-bye.
Bye bye. Have a good day. Bye bye.